Hello, everyone. So, this is going to be a little bit different than my usual norm. Usually, I have a script that's written down. Usually, that goes deep into all this whatnot about what I'm talking about. But, we're not going to do a script today. In fact, this is going to be completely unscripted. Because I found this thing so sporadically late last night at like 3:30 a.m. after watching a Smiling Friends episode with the fam, with the Sibs, the terrible trio, if you will. And I feel like it is most likely better for me to go into this one unscripted. We need to talk about something. I'm going into this as sporadically as I usually do. As sporadically as I found this game, okay? We need to talk about this little creation that I found a while ago. Being 30 minutes. Or like being last night at 3 a.m. Brush Burial. We need to talk about a game called Brush Burial Gutter World. Now, what is Brush Burial Gutter World, you may ask? Brush Burial Gutter World is a Steam game that was released a couple of days ago. It's also on itch.io, but I got the demo from Steam, alright? I played the demo for a couple of minutes. You know, at first, I don't know what to expect. All I know is that it is a game that looks similar to like Quake, 2? Yeah, Quake 2. Games on the PS1, early PC games. It looks like that. Mostly PS1 with how all the textures are all pixelated-y and all that whatnot. Now, you may think to yourself that it's just, you know, a normal, regular game out of nowhere. But then you play it. Alright? And I'm gonna explain everything that I witnessed in this demo at the very least. You play as this creature. I don't know what she is, but I know that she got hips, thighs, and everything for days. Like this woman creature thing is hot. I don't care what anybody says about the face. The face is adorable as well. So, shut. But anyway, you play as this creature who, you know, is normal looking. You know, she's in a run-down apartment. And then afterwards, you grab a key, you go through a specific door, and then, woo, you're down in some sort of crazy forest area underneath wherever. I think it's in like another world or a pocket dimension. I don't know what it is. That's not the important part. The important part is what you do in the game, okay? So, essentially, what you do, from what I can find, or what I can figure from the demo, is that you take on assassination jobs. You basically go and you click a mission, and you go in, and then you just find the person to kill the person, right? Yeah, that's essentially what you do. You find the person to kill the person, and then bada bing, bada boom, you just go, right? Now, in that in itself isn't very crazy. In fact, it's very normal. It's one of those games where you just got, oh, you know, it's a cool little game. You know what I'm saying? A cool little game, little indie game. You know, to bring back the older days. No, this game is probably one of the most addicting things I've played in a long time, bar none. So, here's the reason why that's the case, okay? Here's the reason. So, I'm over here, I'm chilling, I'm thinking that the game is just gonna be, you know, go through the areas, go through the linear areas and everything like that. No, it's open-ended. You have to go around. You have to find things. You have to find keys. Open the doors with the keys. Then you have to go into specific routes. It's not really super specific to where and you have to go that way. Hell, you could go through the back door. You could go through the roof. You could go through the other room. It doesn't matter. You could slide underneath the garage door and take out the guys over there. Which, that reminds me, the combat is Very stealth heavy. So essentially what it is that you don't have a means of melee fighting. In fact, your fighting is very minuscule unless you have a weapon. No. How you take down enemies is that you have to get them from behind. Splinter Cell style. You have to take them down with sexy judo flip moves that showcase her hips and thighs and all that whatnot. And showcase that she don't mind being a little sexy while doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, power to you, you know? Power to you. I have no issue with that. And then if an enemy spots you, though, you have a problem because your takedowns aren't going to work. So you have to stun them by counterattacking them, hitting them from behind, and then taking them down. Which makes it very bad when you're caught, because if you're caught, then everybody comes after you. And it's essentially impossible to take them all down. But that's not the point here that I'm trying to make. The point is that with all of the freaking takedowns, all these different routes, you have to find one specific target and take that target down. However, you don't have checkpoints. If you die, you start over. If you fail, you have to redo it. However, the levels aren't super long, or at least this level wasn't super long to the point to wherein I was begrudgingly continuing. You know, I wasn't over here punching the air when I failed. The levels are short enough to where it's like, oh, I died. Well, at least I know that I have to go to the left instead of to the right. How about I go over here? How about I move over there instead? Then after like the 5th or 6th time of you actually going, you start to get into a rhythm. You start to know and notice all these different patterns. You start to know how the enemies work. You know where the key is, how to use specific items, what item goes where. And then afterwards, after you finally beat the stage, then you decide to go after the special abilities or the special little little quests or whatever. You start to try and go for different speed running attempts. You try to take out the enemies without actually getting caught. You try to go through without taking damage. You try to only take out the only individual that you have to take out, and then leaving everybody else that's a non-target alive. Yes, those are submissions, which you can then use the points to get more sexy clothing for the lady that you're playing as. Why is this game absolutely goated? I literally played the demo for 3 hours because I wanted to keep playing over and over and over and over and over again. It was just so fun, and it was just one demo. I don't understand how these indie developers do it, but they somehow always find a way to make it the most addicting shit that you'll ever find. Anyway, but yes, Brush Burial Gutter World. Should I play the full game? I'll let y'all decide. I may stream it, or hell, I may do a video of me playing it. I don't know. One of the two. But, regardless, Brush Burial Gutter World. Brush Burial Gutter World. Add another waifu to the tier list, I say.